now, your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Wrestling with Friends. Wrestling with Freddie, here is your news of the week. Those were crickets, because nothing new happened. It was all on the screen, and now here is the show.
Those crickets kind of sounded like it was scanning for news, like it was like loading, you know, like searching for news, searching for news.
Can't find any news. Someone did something stupid. Come on. It was a big week in wrestling, not a big week WWE wise. They didn't give us much content this week,
right?
But AEW certainly did. That said, sir, we always start with WWE Raw, but before we get into it, how are you, man? How is life? How is the road?
Feeling good. I was in Florida this week, and I normally wouldn't bring it up, but I got to go diving with like one of those big tanks on my back.
Yeah, I scuba once. Sarah's like pro at it. I went once with Sarah.
Dude, it's stressful. The part to like remember to breathe or you'll die kind of thing. That part was stressful, but it was awesome. Like being down there with all the fish and hanging out. That part I liked.
It feels like you need a passport just to like go. It's such a foreign world. Like I said, I've only done it once. Sarah's like, she did a dive in the Great Barrier Reef off Australia back when we did Scooby-Doo.
I was nervous. Yeah, I was biting because you think, because if you breathe through your nose, you die. But you can breathe through your mouth for, as long as you breathe through your mouth, you can stay down there for hours. And I'm just going, I was biting that thing like a pit bull, just going, I know if I let go of this, I'm going to die. So like I just kept breathing in and out. And I kept trying not to panic. Keep in mind, I'm only 20 feet down there. So if all goes,
that's
you can just
right,
go to
dude.
the surface real quick, pop my ears or whatever. But it was stressful down there.
Well, speaking of things that could kill you, Rhea Ripley is officially named the new WWE Women's World Champion, and she would beat your ass, bro. What did you think of the new belt, sir?
I like that they're doing it's the exact same belt as the boys, except now they have like a white leather behind it.
Yeah, and I'm digging the black. I'm digging the black jewels or whatever those are that are in it. I didn't think I was, but every single week, like I love it on Seth Rollins' belt. I love the way his belt looks, and I thought I hated it when I first saw it.
But don't you think is that what they're trying to do? Is this another move to be like, no, they're just like the men's belts. Women are no different than the men. Do you think that's what they're trying to do?
I don't know, man, because again, you and I have both said this. In these days, the wrestler makes the belt, right? I think it's just to match Rhea Ripley's look with the black lipstick and the this and the that, and the Seth Rollins rocks the black all the time. Roman Reigns wears the black all the time. I just think it looks cooler with their style. I think the wrestler makes the belt, and maybe their look's inspired at this time. I don't think if that's true, the company would ever admit that. But yeah, man, I'm digging the belts.
The only reason I'm asking is because if this is the new thing to have like the women's belts match the men's belts, and the only difference is that the women have the white leather, that means we'll have to say goodbye to what they started to do in the 90s, where like, you know, you'd see like Razor Ramon had the Intercontinental belt, but he made it a yellow leather behind it. Or you saw Dolph Ziggler had a white behind his for his. Yeah, I like it when they do those little different things like that. Instead of just the plates, I've never been a fan of the plates that have the, like, I don't like it when there was like the broken skull.
Yeah, I hated the spinner belt. Yeah.
So I kind of like
the leather,
it,
though. I'm down with
when you just make it kind of your own in a small, nice way. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of professional wrestling to watch on Monday Night Raw, although Damian Priest and Matt Riddle was a pretty sweet match. Damian Priest is my pick to win Money in the Bank.
Interesting.
Sir. What do you know about that? What do you know about Damian Priest as winner of Money in the Bank? You're not buying it.
I do love him. I think he's great. I think you do this. You've got a good track record of bringing me over to your side of the argument on all these wrestlers. I find myself always agreeing with you. He's getting a huge push. I could see it happening for sure. It seems like each month where there's more, Damian Priest becomes a bigger face in the scene for sure. Although defeating Matt Riddle isn't like a huge deal. Matt Riddle's been back for what, 2 months?
I don't know why they booked him against Priest where he would have to lose, because he does so much crazy stuff.
I don't know. He might still be in Vince's probation area.
He might be in Vince jail. Yeah, he might be. Because otherwise, I would put him I'd find a way to get him in Money in the Bank in a heartbeat, unless he did something that messed him up. Well, who's your pick to win Money in the Bank? LA Knight, right?
That's why Hope wins. Yeah. LA Knight. Because I just don't understand why he's not getting the push that we thought he started to get a while ago. So it's confusing.
When you get yourself over, when you get yourself over, the entire creative team should be rushing to you as soon as your promo's over and saying, let's sit and talk and figure out a story. And for whatever reason, they just refuse to give him a legit story, and he's getting bigger pops than 95% of the roster, whether he's supposed to be the good guy or the bad guy.
It makes no sense.
Like, the crowd loves him, and I don't get why he's not in a significant story. They've proven they can tell significant stories, and at the high level that AEW has done with like Max and CM Punk, right? Like Bloodline story, you could argue was better than that because of its longevity alone, and I might even agree with you. But to have nothing for my dude is crazy, dude. His body's so sick.
There's two
He's
rules.
So good on the mic.
There's two rules in Vince's world: get jacked and get over. And he's done both, and it's still not. It makes no sense. But who knows? Maybe.
I don't get it's crazy. Like, I'll say this is the one criticism I could say. When he did commentary, it wasn't the best, right? Like, it wasn't, his promos are superior to his match commentary when he was like the guest commentator. But it's like, I'm looking and trying to find something where I go like, well, maybe Vince saw the commentary and was like, nah, you can't do that, then he's out. Like, I don't understand. I'm like, he can wrestle, he sells. They love it when you sell. And he sells big for small guys. Like, he sells, man. And they're just like, I got nothing for you this week. You're
my
mom, have a 3-minute match.
My mom is like this. My mom's a lot like Vince McMahon. My mom will be like, I don't like Jack Nicholson. And I'm like, why? He's an amazing actor. He's great. She's like, I just don't. And I go, okay, Mom, we'll defend your position. She's like, I just don't like him. I just don't like him. And she can't give you any reasons. She won't give you any good. You could give her 20 good arguments. It's just in her brain, I don't like that guy. And I think that might be LA Knight with Vince, although he is still in WWE. So maybe if Vince really didn't like him, he wouldn't be there. But I don't know.
Yeah, man. I don't know. That's what everyone says. I don't know. No one can figure out how this guy's not getting pushed to the moon. Would you like to move on to AEW, or did Raw compel you?
Well, I thought it was interesting that the Chad Gable match I liked. It was short, sweet.
I love Chad Gable.
They had two gimmicky things in there, which I will later talk about. I like the Viking Raiders versus Shush.
Team Shush.
Team Shush.
All right. AEW Dynamite. I told you last week I was really worried about the MJF Adam Cole, let's give this match for free. And I said, the only way they can save it is to find a creative way out of the match. And I said the bad version is a double count out, right? But it's a great match. Well, they did what I felt was the best version possible of getting out of this match. They made me totally forget about what I'm about to say because I never see it. The last time I can think of it was Ric Flair and Magnum TA. And it was like, you can't last 15 minutes with me. I'll bet you 10 grand. And Magnum TA was like the humble guy. And he was like, well, I don't have 10 grand, but I can bet you whatever it was that he bet. And then it went to a draw, but he lasted the amount of time. I feel like that's how that story went. And so Adam Cole gets a match against Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the AEW world champion, undisputed world champion, I might add. And if he wins this match, he gets a shot at that title, the legit title, the AEW title. I'm going to keep saying that throughout this podcast. And you can tune in Thursday to find out why. If Adam Cole wins, he gets a shot at the title, and it's a 30-minute time limit, which I completely disregard every time they say that. It's like an old school term. And who cares? Well, they cared, and they tricked me so nice. First of all, these guys had an awesome match. MJF started off like tributing every old school wrestler from Ravishing Rick Rude to Ric Flair to the Macho Man. Like, he was doing all this old school stuff. I thought it was awesome. And then we get to the end of this match, and Adam Cole finally hits his finisher, and he kicks you right in the back of the head with his knee pad slid down. So, pow, right in his head, boom. MJF goes down. 1, 2, ding, 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 ding. What? The 30-minute time limit. And I'm sitting there going, what? And my son goes, Dad, what happened? And I was like, oh my God, he ran out of time. And my son goes, that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah. Rocky's right.
He was mad. He was. And then Adam Cole gets this great moment on the mic where he looks MJF in the face and he's like, give me 5 more minutes. And the crowd's like, yeah, give it 5 more minutes. And Max is like, you want 5 more minutes? He's not saying this. This is what his face looks like. You want 5 more minutes? And Adam Cole's, you're damn right I want 5. You want 5? You're damn right. You're not getting it. And he just scooted out the ring and the crowd booed like crazy. And this is how the show started, man. It started with this. And I loved it, dude. You loved this match. I know you did.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I loved the match. Sure. I hate the finish. It was such trash. Whoever pitched this should be fired. You like a time
I would promote
limit.
him twice.
Time limit. Like we're getting so lazy on how we could make the match end without being a clean finish or still building up to a story. A time limit.
I loved it. It was such a middle finger. How did you hate it? You love middle fingers. You have to love a middle finger.
I do, but it felt like a middle finger to me, and I hate that. I hate that a lot. I just like when I'm sitting there, I'm into it. I'm going, oh man, we're starting it off with MJF and Adam Cole. Hell yeah, like way to go strong out the gates, which we love.
And then they kicked you right in the balls.
They were starting strong, so I was like loving this. And then to just do the time thing pissed me off. I know exactly why they did it, and whatever. So good on them. But I felt blindsided, and I was very, very annoyed about that. I got mad. I was like Rocky. I was like, that's a bunch of crap. I do love both of them. Good build. I'm fine with it, but just I didn't like being tricked. And like you said, the way you just disregarded it. When they said that, I go, yeah. That's just like some referee mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need to hear that crap. I know.
Yeah.
You got a time limit. Who cares?
False count anywhere. We're like, we know. They don't go through all that.
All right. Once again, I will say I've been proven wrong. We had an 8-man tag match, which I should hate. And I'm not saying I loved the match, but I watched it. And I watched it because of 2 men. One, Swerve Strickland. We all know him. We all love him. I wish I could rap as good as him. I can't really rap. I think in my heart and soul I was a rapper, but I never had any skill or talent for it. So I get jealous when people can rhyme. And the other person is Mr. Freshly Squeezed, who I shall now refer to forevermore as the Squozen One. Like Anakin Skywalker, but even better because he's been squozed. Mr. Orange Cassidy, teaming with Keith Lee, Darby Allin, and Sting. Swerve was with Brian Cage. And I now know who Orange Cassidy is. And he was awesome. Keith Lee was bouncing fools left and right when he would get in the ring, which is really cool. And I like Keith Lee. But the show got stolen by Orange Cassidy and Swerve. That's been the story for these 2 guys against each other. These 2 guys are really, really good wrestlers, tell really good stories in the ring. And I enjoyed the match. Again, I don't like 3-man tags, so 4-man tags are a tough sell. But I get it. They're getting everyone working that night. They're getting everybody a little bit of shine. And you can maintain the Swerve and Orange story, which I think is an important one in professional wrestling.
I know you love Orange Cassidy. None of this did anything for me. Really, if I'm honest, like I've got nothing to really comment on. I'm not like, I don't get what they're doing with Darby Allin and Sting. It feels like is this just forever going to be the thing with those 2 together doing boring, like great matches and there's boring storytelling? Keith Lee, is awesome. The newest thing he's done is like, now I've got gray hair. So I just don't know. None of this really did much for me.
What's your problem with gray hair, you son of a bitch?
No problem. But if that's all you're doing different, right. It's not much different.
Well, that's all I got going.
No, you're making movies. You're doing podcasts, playing games, living the life.
All right.
You're not just going, hey, Jeff, I haven't seen you in 10 years. Look, I'm gray bearded now. It's like, that's not enough of a change.
He's also smashing people with his shoulder and launching them 26 feet.
That's true, but we didn't see a lot of that. Yeah, so I just don't have much to report on it. My opinion's not going to be that great about that match.
I feel you, dude. We won't spend too much more time on AEWs unless there was something that you really wanted to discuss. We can move to SmackDown, which was even less eventful.
All of my AEW opinions were about a different show, so we'll save it for
okay. Fair enough.
Bonus.
Again, bonus tease for Thursday, y'all. So the Bloodline, which is now Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, and the WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, they want to know from Jay what time it is. the bloodline has finally been destroyed. Roman drops some knowledge on Jey, saying your brother was jealous of you. He didn't want you to be the man, all this stuff. Jimmy comes out because he's not having that. He's going to stand next to his brother. Jey looks betrayed. Is that true? Is that true? And his brother's saying yes. And he goes, then you out. And that's what everyone wanted to know. And he goes, but so am I. Pow, 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 pow. And gets him with the super kick. They super kick everybody. They double super kick people. Paul Heyman gets the hell out of there, rolls his ass out the ring so he doesn't get super kicked, lives to fight another day. But it is officially blown up, and we will get a cool Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns versus the Usos. These two dudes, these twin brothers, have surpassed any and all expectations that the company has had for them. And they've always been able to wrestle their asses off. I can't say enough good things about these dudes. I sang their praise big time last week. I'm not going to shine them up anymore. It's just awesome that they were able to pull this story off. It's awesome because it could have, without them being as talented as they are, this thing falls apart and nobody cares. And it's just another faction that doesn't have enough people that can talk. And we know they're being protected by the one person who can. And in this case, every single son of a bitch in the story can talk. Even Solo a little bit. They help him out. They don't give him too much. So I couldn't be happier with how this, I'm not saying it's over, but this chapter has now come to an end. They did a great job. The rest of the show kind of sucked, so I don't want to get into it too much, but this was the end of the show. They made me wait the whole time to watch this, and they did a really good job.
This felt to me like something we thought for sure was inevitably coming. And then it also felt like something we thought was never coming. Like it was like a little bit of both. It's like, well, I foresaw that this might happen, but it took so long that I think it's never going to happen. I'm also kind of sad by it. I like you heard my idea on the last few weeks, just saying like, I wish they would just grow the bloodline and keep it this unbreakable thing so that if they do choose to like do a storyline that breaks up somebody in the group 5 years from now, it'd be like, we broke the rules of the bloodline, because I don't want to see The Rock fight Roman. I want to see The Rock with Roman. I want to keep this bloodline pure and true. And so that was a little bit.
You can have drama within
right.
it, but yeah, you don't want it to fall all the way apart.
Or anybody being kicked out, or anybody turning on somebody without, like the blood is thicker than water story has already kind of been crossed. And if you're going to have a guy turn on a guy, make it like a Sami Zayn who's not really in the bloodline. He's in the bloodline.
Yeah, they did that great, man.
Yeah, and so like that feels good because you're like, well, we can kick a guy out who like turn on Paul Heyman. He's not really in the bloodline. He's
yeah. It's like Ray Liotta wasn't Italian enough.
Yeah.
in Goodfellas.
But so all the guys in the pure bloodline are protected. That's the way I would have played it. But whatever, it happened. It was exciting. Like you said, they made us wait the entire thing. I will say, you said that this, of course, this was the biggest and most exciting part of the episode. But my match of the week was in SmackDown. Our girl, Zelina Vega, beats Io Sky. And here's the thing. This goes against all my Jeff rules. To pick the match of the week, a short woman's match that was kind of clunky. The reason I'm picking it is because the right woman won. Also, Zelina hit the 619 on her, which was pretty cool. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm not watching enough of the LWO matches, but is that she's been doing it a lot?
Yeah, she likes that move. Yeah. Okay, Ray lets her use it. Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was dope, though.
She does it great. Yeah, I was pretty impressed. So that was my match. I don't know why I popped so hard to watch it, but it was fun. It was great.
Is that your match of the week?
That's my match of the week for sure.
I love you, dude. Shout out Zelina Vega.
Yeah, she's the best.
Well, my match of the week, and we will get into this show on our Thursday bonus content, was Andrade El Idolo versus Buddy Matthews on Saturday night's Collision, the debut of Collision. I love Lucha Libre. I love luchadors. I collect masks. I have a lot. It's not dozens. It's not hundreds. It's in the thousands. I love lucha masks, and I've been collecting them since the 6th freaking grade, and I'm 47 years old.
I only have La Parca and a couple.
That's all right, though. That's all right, man. I think I saw a couple more in your books.
I have a few, but that's my number one.
Yeah. Okay, all right. For those of you who don't know, he's married to the amazing Charlotte Flair, who I love to death. I think she's awesome. They pay tribute to one another in their matches quite often. She's done a couple of his movesets, and in this week's, and this is my match of the week, he paid tribute to her figure 8 instead of just doing the figure 4, and he won the match with the bridge. And this match was such an awesome story. I just encourage you to watch it for the story. Forget the fact that both dudes are sick and Buddy Matthews is so jacked, dude. It looks like he was carved. Like, he's so shredded, dude. I've never seen him this jacked before. He looked awesome. The whole time I was just staring at him like man crushing, like, God damn, I wish I looked like that just once in my life. These dudes told this story of 2 injuries, one a knee, the other a shoulder. They told the House of Black story with the lights beautifully. It didn't come off like cheap Undertaker stuff. I don't want to tell you everything that happened in the match because it was awesome, but the crowd was ready for it. There were Mexican fans out there that had a Mexican flag over the rail, and Andrade flipped Buddy Matthews right into the center of the Mexican flag. It was so dope. I popped so big for it. I love this match. He did a cartwheel on the apron into a full back layout and just smashed Matthews. Matthews was showing off the muscles and just picking up this big ass dude like he weighed my weight and is just smashing him. And they both sold like crazy. They both sold their injuries so big. And at the end of the match, we were going to get this handshake, and Buddy Matthews slaps it away. And Andrade's like, it's all right. He's pissed. He lost. I'm going to offer it again, like UFC style, right? Like, it was so legit and real. And then right before he's going to shake, the lights go out. And then the rest was a cool sort of House of Black story. And Aleister Black looked awesome with the makeup and the eye thing that he did. But this was my match of the week because it felt so old school, like 90s. Like, it was just a cool ass 1998-99 match that I hope this story lasts a while and they give him some time on Collision. That's my match of the week, my dude.
Buddy Matthews is... He feels like a thick, strong Pac. I don't know if you guys know that reference. He used to be called
Neville. Neville.
He reminds me of him, but like just super strong and a little thicker because he can do the high flying. He looks great. He's got the great body. This match was incredible, but it was on Collision. I didn't know we were counting Collision as the matches of the week. I probably wouldn't have given it to Zelina Vega, but it's all right because this match was sick. And it was also the mask that Andrade came out to. What is that mask?
Dude.
That was
like
awesome.
Half DC Universe, half Lucha Libre, man. It was
cool.
so sick, dude.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Man. And he wasn't even letting girl touch it. He was like, no tocas, don't you dare touch my mask. She's like, all right.
Yeah, what's she getting all his belongings for anyways? I don't understand what she's doing.
Yo, he was so cool with it, with everything, man. When he caught himself in the ropes and did the old school pose, like, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
Everything, man. He was just dope. I was so glad to see him back in the ring.
I didn't know that he was with Rhea Ripley, Buddy Matthews. It was Charlotte Flair's man versus Rhea Ripley's man, which is pretty interesting.
Yo, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That should have been how the match was built.
That's how they should have
Charlotte
built it.
Flair's man versus Rhea Ripley's man tonight on Collision.
That says a lot about wrestling, doesn't it? So-and-so's boyfriend is fighting so-and-so's.
I love that, man. That's high school.
I love it.
I got in fights because of that shit.
I bet.
All right, man. Tell the people where you're going to be this weekend.
This weekend, come see me. I'm doing a celebrity softball game in Seattle, technically Tacoma at Cheney Stadium with a bunch of Seahawks and actually Geno Smith, the quarterback of the Seahawks, the current quarterback. And we're raising a bunch of money. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. Go to Cheney Stadium or go to jeffdye.com and just find out where you can come see the game.
Hit a homer for the listeners,
I'm
bro.
trying to.
Dedicated.
I'm gonna hit 2 homers.
Dedicated, dude.
There's a lot.
You're going to give us 2?
They got a lot of guys on the team, though, so I'm wondering if it's going to be one of these celebrity softball tournaments where the roster, instead of like 9 guys, is literally like 40.
Like 30 deep.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
And you're like, I'm probably
then you only
going to
get like 1 at bat.
I know, it sucks. I'm hoping it's not like
I did the ESPN celebrity retired guy softball game one year, and Kenny Mayne was the manager, and he was a total dick to me, by the way. Kenny Mayne, why were you a dick for no reason? I was super nice to you.
I've heard he's tough.
But it was one of those I was going to get 1 at bat, and I got an infield single because I can't hit a softball. Like, it's too hard, man. and then as soon as I came around, he was like, all right, and you're out. I'm like, out. And then we had like a roster of like 28 dudes, and everyone got to get an opportunity. But I was like, this sucks, dude. I'm not doing it.
Flying up there to bat once. I mean, I know it's also about the money and the charity, but come on, let me get some dingers.
You're doing it for charity. Mine was just for TV ratings, so mine sucked. Yours doesn't. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all Thursday with our bonus content, and every Wednesday, as always. Peace.
Follow us on Instagram, Wrestling with Freddie. Twitter is WWFreddie Pod. Follow us on all the socials so you can submit your questions for the Federation.
This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.